The sun hung low over the New Mexico plains, turning the dry grass into rivers of gold. The air shimmered with heat, and the wind carried the scent of mesquite and smoke. From behind a cluster of cottonwoods, a young Apache woman named Tala watched a group of white settlers who had recently stopped by the river. She had never seen them up close before, only from afar, as moving dots across the valley. But now, curiosity pulled her closer. Tala's long black hair was braided with red beads, and the fringe of her deerhide dress swayed softly as she moved. She was cautious, but her eyes, bright, deep, and filled with wonder, studied everything with the hunger of someone witnessing another world. The settlers had built a small camp near the water. Smoke curled from a fire where a woman stirred a pot. Men worked to fix the wheel of a wagon, and two small children ran barefoot through the grass, their laughter ringing like bells. Tala crouched behind a bush, fascinated. Their clothes were odd, heavy and colorful, their hats too wide. But what caught her attention most was not the clothing or the tools, it was the laughter. It was open, carefree, and warm. Among her own people, laughter was quieter, respectful, shared during stories or around fires. But this was wild and loud and beautiful. Her gaze settled on one young settler woman, sitting with a baby on her lap. The woman tickled the infant's belly, blew raspberries on the soft skin, and made strange, playful sounds. The baby squealed and kicked in delight, tiny hands waving in the air. Tala's head tilted in amazement. She had never seen a mother make her child laugh like that. She crept closer, her bare feet silent on the earth. The settlers didn't notice her until she was only a few steps away. When the mother looked up, surprised, Tala froze for a heartbeat, then spoke softly, her English halting but sincere. "So, white people make children this way?" she asked, pointing innocently at the baby and the playful woman. There was a long pause. The settler woman blinked, then covered her mouth as laughter bubbled out. Her husband chuckled too, shaking his head. Tala blushed, confused but smiling, unaware she had just spoken a sentence that would be remembered for years to come. The settler woman's laughter softened, and she reached out a gentle hand toward Tala. "No, no," she said kindly, still smiling. "We don't make them that way. We just play with them." Tala's cheeks flushed, and she lowered her eyes, feeling a little foolish. But the warmth in the woman's tone calmed her. Slowly, she stepped closer. The baby reached for her, tiny fingers brushing against Tala's beaded bracelet. "His name's Samuel," the woman said proudly. "Would you like to hold him?" Tala hesitated. Her people rarely handed their babies to outsiders. But she nodded, curiosity stronger than her fear. The woman carefully placed the baby in Tala's arms. He was soft, lighter than she expected, and smelled faintly of milk and smoke. When the baby smiled up at her, Tala's heart swelled with something tender and unfamiliar. "How do you make him laugh?" she asked. The settler woman chuckled again and demonstrated, blowing softly on the baby's stomach until he let out a bubbling giggle. Tala watched every movement, the touch, the tone, the rhythm. Then she tried it herself, awkwardly at first, then more confidently. When Samuel laughed in her arms, a bright, joyful sound that filled the quiet air, Tala's eyes widened in delight. Around them, a few settlers stopped their work, smiling at the strange yet heartwarming scene, a young Apache woman laughing with a white child by the river. The man who had been fixing the wagon nodded approvingly. "Looks like she's got the hang of it." For a while, the three of them sat together in easy peace, sharing stories in broken words and gestures. The settlers told her of faraway lands with green fields and heavy rains. In return, Tala told them of the spirits who lived in the red rocks and rivers, who whispered to mothers to keep their children safe. There was a quiet understanding between them, something fragile, yet real. When the sun began to dip below the horizon, Tala handed the baby back with a grateful smile and walked home through the tall grass. That evening, she gathered the village children and showed them what she had learned. Their laughter rose high into the twilight, echoing through the canyons. And as the stars shimmered above, Tala thought softly to herself, perhaps joy speaks the same language everywhere.